It is lovely to meet you all. Okay, let's get those cameras on. I want to see your beautiful faces, unless you're driving. Maybe keep your eyes on the road. Nice, yeah, 20, 21 of you guys. Welcome in. What's up? Obviously, I'm not Andreas just yet. My name's Adele. I am one of his students though, so let me tell you about this guy. Like, he literally flipped my sales game on its head. You guys are definitely in for a treat. What's up, Natalie? Good to see you. Okay, Dave's on the road. You have an excuse. Let's hear it in the chat though. I'm curious, where is everybody calling in from? I want to see that lit up. Where is my little chat here? Colorado, I love it. I'm from Denver. Utah, South Africa, I love it. Selene, good to see you. Germany to Mexico, I love it. I love it. Cool. Well, Andreas will obviously be on in a minute. I'm curious, you guys, how long, let's get a little temp check here. How long have you all been in sales? Are we newer? Been in it a couple of years? What is the vibe there? I want to see it in the chat. Let's keep it active. Isabella just getting started. Cool. A lot of newbies. I love it. Well, yeah, Andreas will be on in a little bit. Does anybody have any burning questions right off the bat? I'll be able to be in the chat kind of answering those throughout. Anything pressing right away? Nothing? Cool, cool. We have all our cameras on. I want to see you all.
All right, we're good.
Nice.
We're good. We're good. Thank you, Adele. I had to kick out all those note takers. I was like, nope, get out. Humans today, and also all the students that for some reason we're not getting my emails with the Zoom link. How we all doing? What's up, guys? What's up, F Beto? Gotti? What's up, Dave? What's up, Jason? What's up, guys? Thank you, Adele. Adele's been an incredible student. So I will do my best, guys, to make this as engaging as possible. Because how many of you guys ever sat through like a 4-hour seminar and like walk away with like a paragraph of knowledge? Am I the only one? I know it happens to me all the time. So my invitation for you guys today, I will do the best I can to keep this as engaging as possible. I'm going through some serious stuff today, but it's going to be on you guys to take notes, to ask questions. Adele's going to be helping out, asking questions, answering questions throughout. I will be doing a live Q&A at the end as well, about 30 minutes. Bring all your burning questions, all your burning objections, all that stuff. Actually, I want to make you host, Adele, and then can you just let people in? Just kick their note takers out. I want to see real people. That means Sinatsky, kick hers out too. And if you guys can, unless you're driving or multitasking, somehow setting calls in the DMs, have your cameras on. I want to see real people today. So real quick, guys, I'm curious, are you guys, who here is setting, who here is closing, and who here is a business owner? Let me know in the chat, please. Can tailor this to you guys. Closer, thank you, Taylor. Good to see you, bro. Business owner and closer. Yeah, you are. Closing and business owner. Okay, awesome. Sweet. We got some business owners, hybrids. Sweet. Okay, a bunch of you guys are actually running businesses. This is awesome. I love working with business owners because you guys get it. You guys get how expensive it is to drive a lead, right? And so I think that's really important. We're going to go into that today. Cool. Looking for an offer. So a couple of newbies. Sweet. And let's get into it, shall we? Let me kind of share my screen here and we're going to dive in. So we're going to go into 3 things today. We're going to go into how to run a real discovery. We're going to go into how to handle objections. We're going into how to think like an owner. Okay. Before we do that, I have a question for all you guys. Let's see if you guys, Adele, you got to make me host again. I can't share my screen.
Oh, goodness.
Just go to my little like dots over my face.
Okay. You should be good.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Let me share my screen. All right, guys. Question for you guys. Now, this is more for the salespeople in here. Do you guys know what the average monthly commission is for high ticket closers? Can you guys see my screen? We good? Cool. 3K, 2,500, 4K, 2 to 3K. Let me let some people in as well. There's a bunch of people in the waiting room. Oh, we they got forgotten about. Holy shit, there's a lot of people. All right, there we go. All right. Yes, it is actually 3 to 8K a month in this industry. Actually, in most sales roles will people average under 80K a year, and that's people that have been in sales for 5, 10 years. Um, I think it's like 60% of sales reps. If you can stay on mute, I want to mute you, bro. Who's off mute? Sharms, go on mute, bro. Um, 60% of sales reps will make about 65K a year. Okay. However, in this industry, right, everyone wants to hit that 10K, 20K month. And so, like, what is the reason why a lot of people struggle to hit that? We're going to go into that today. Okay. Now, my opinion, not to trigger anyone, but like I firmly believe 10K months in this industry are not that complicated. Okay. They require work, and I kind of get triggered when I see people say that you can make 10 to 20K a month, taking 2 calls off your laptop from the beach, because I don't think that's the right expectation. Um, but I think it is very doable to consistently hit 10K or more in this industry. Again, it requires work. So that's what we're going to go into today. We're going to go into the 3 things that I've done. I still do because I still sell. I sell recruiting now, to consistently average between 20 and 25K a month in commission. So let me let a few more people in here. Okay, that sound good to you guys? You guys want to learn that? Can you let me know in the chat so I'm not talking to myself? You guys want to learn that? Because you don't have to. All right, cool. Thank you. Sweet. How many of you guys have seen the viral posts of the objection handling like jiu-jitsu? Right? You guys seen those on TikTok, on Instagram? You guys on social media? Like guys that are like role playing with people that are supposed to be real prospects, right? And they're actually like their students that they're role playing with. Industry secrets, guys. Okay. So that stuff works. I'm not going to shit on it. That stuff does work. Objection handling does work very well. Me personally, I like to figure out concerns minute 10, not at minute 50. Especially if I'm taking 4, 6, 8 calls a day. I do not want every call to feel like a battle. I don't want a call to go for an hour and a half, 2 hours of objection handling to then have to go do it again, 5, 6, 8 calls a day, 6 days a week, because it's very hard to maintain that energy level consistently. Which is why a lot of reps will hit a 10 or a 15K month and then they'll fall off because they gave it everything. Very, very difficult to maintain that work rate. Okay, you guys with me on that? How many of you guys have had like a 2 hour sales call and like maybe they close and you feel like on top of the world, but a 2 hour sales call when no one closes? How many of you guys have had that happen? Oh, the man Ryan's here. Awesome. Death. Yes, exactly. Happens. I mean, it still happens, but it's like, how do we minimize that? All right, let me get this out of the. All right, cool. So we're going to go into these 3 things. How do we identify problems quickly? The whole theme of this way is how do we go from cringy to confident? My opinion, to be confident on sales calls, you need to know what to look for, and you need to know how to lead the call from the first like 3 minutes of the conversation. I'm going to give you guys some specific things today that you can implement if you have sales calls afternoon. Second thing is how to bring in empathy into your sales calls, into your objections. You're not feeling like you're just like batting someone over the head for 2 hours. And the third thing, this is going to be interesting because there's business owners here, is how to, as a salesperson, you think like an owner, and I'll explain why, but also the business owners here, how do you set up your salespeople for success? Because a lot of people want to hire salespeople too early, and then salespeople start judging themselves when it has nothing to do with their performance or their skill set. Sound good? I'm gonna do this all day, guys. I'm checking you guys paying attention. Let me know in the chat. Yes. All right. Thank you. Got some people. Thank you, Savannah. Did I say that right? Maria. What's up, Ryan? Welcome, brother. Good to see you. Cool. Can I give you guys the whole spiel on like who I am and like why you should listen to me? Can I go through that? All right. Let me let a few more stragglers in here. All right, cool.
What veggies do they have?
Shakira, I'm muting you. Thank you. All right. This was me before high ticket. This is literally a screenshot of my bank. I don't even think some of my students have seen this. Okay. By the way, Santana's Mexican food, San Diego, fucking worth it. Bomb ass burrito. Okay. This is me about a year and a half later. This is a monthly commission check. Now, what a lot of my students, I don't think a lot of people know, it's okay to share, is that the reason I was struggling financially is I had grown a trading account. I was day trading from about 2,500 bucks to over $200,000, and I started living a really fun life. And the more I started spending, the more aggressive I got, and I then ended up burning my entire account to what you guys saw on the screenshot. And I was like kind of bumming out of this like shitty little van in California. And I remember a friend of mine, his name is Josh Massey, called me, and he ended up selling me into, it had nothing to do with sales or high ticket. He sold me into this like Tony Robbins like leadership program that I was like all skeptical about. But that conversation ended up having me go through a leadership program that completely like changed the trajectory of my life. It's what got me into high ticket sales. And the reason I remember that conversation is because Josh gave a shit about me to call me out on my shit. He was like, dude, you have so much potential. What the fuck are you doing? Right. So this program was called ALA. It's a spinoff of Landmark, really powerful stuff. But that one conversation changed the entire trajectory of the last 7 years of my life. And I share that because that is the power of each sales call that you guys are having. Every sales call can have the power to change the trajectory of someone's life if you actually like are in service and help them make powerful decisions. I gave that man like my last $500. That's why my account was so low. And then I took out a credit card because I had no money to pay for the rest of the program. Financially, probably not the smartest thing, but had I not done that, I don't know, I'd probably still be bumming around going from bullshit job to bullshit job. Right. Now, for you guys, a lot of you guys might have had a moment like that in your life where you've made a decision to bet on yourself. Like, how many of you guys have actually gone through something like that? Yeah, a lot of you guys. And if you haven't, I invite you to reflect on that, because when you put yourself in those positions, it is a lot easier to lovingly challenge your clients or your prospects to like overcome their own fears and do the same thing. Okay. So that's kind of like a little bit about me there. Now let me go back here. That's like the whole thing. This is just my accolades or whatever. 5 million in cash collected in the last 4.5 years in this industry. I've cleared consistently 20 to 25K months. I still sell, and I've been able to negotiate revenue share on 2 different offers. That's probably a little bit advanced for you guys, although Adele here is already in a growth operator role and she's been in sales for like 5 months. And I've also been able to negotiate base salaries on 3 different commission only offers. So it's something that I find like you can do it when you have the right skill set. Okay. Now, can I share with you guys what really motivates me? Just let me know. Yes, yes, yes. Do it. Yes. All right. Cool. This is what really motivates me. This right here. I love to do fun shit. I like to surf. I like to skydive. I like to take my girl on trips to Hawaii all the time. Charter helicopters. I like expensive stuff. In February, I took my best friend. We went to Tokyo and we snowboarded out of an RV for 2 weeks. Awesome trip. Took my parents to Europe. Took my girlfriend to Alaska and chartered a boat in Italy for my parents' anniversary. I've also bought bought a bunch of toys. Buying this thing with 40 large in cash was a very, very big power move and something that I'll never forget. So that's kind of what the skill of sales allows you to do. Now, this is really what I do it for. These are my parents. They're getting a lot older. We're having a lot deeper conversations now than I think we've ever had. And on my third 20K commission month, I took them to Hawaii, and then I took them to Japan. And this is us in Hawaii. And my mother told me that she didn't think she'd see the Hawaiian sunset until she was like in her 80s. And we did that on her 60th birthday. And like, it always kind of makes me emotional, but that's what I do it for, is for my family, to build on the legacy that my father started. I'm first generation, and to give back to the people I care about. Okay. So for you guys to hit your income goal, maybe that's 10K. If you're a business owner, maybe it's 100K, whatever it is for you guys. And by the way, with your income goal, guys, like, it's really easy to get caught up in the noise. But what income goal is going to allow you to give you the life that you want? Okay. So reflect on that. Maybe it's 8K a month, maybe it's 15, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 100. I don't know what it is, but think of what that is for you, because that's going to help you get clear on your why. And if you're not clear on your why, you're not clear on your vision, this is a very, very difficult line of work. In sales, you guys, we are getting rejected every fucking day. Right? You guys with me? Like, the reason we make a lot of money is because we get rejected every day. At the same time, we're the reason that businesses stay alive. We produce. And so for you guys to like be how many of you guys, let me stop sharing screen. How many of you guys are actually clear on what motivates you, like your why? Show of hands. And if you're not clear on that, no right or wrong, I invite you to reflect on that. Like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I taking 6 or 8 calls every single day, 6 days a week? Because sometimes that's what it takes. Okay. So thank you guys for sharing that. Now let's go back into it. So we're going to go into, first, how do we uncover goals? How do we find problems? Urgency, extract emotion, cut through vagueness. How do we get those juicy objectionless sales? Okay, you guys down to learn that? You guys ready for some tangible things? Yes. All right, let's do it. How do I stop sharing my screen here? All right, so see if this works. I haven't done Miro on Zoom share. So this is my disco flow. Can you guys see my screen? Just let me know in the chat. Cool. This is how I think about a sales process. This is everything from, this is like a scripting, all right? Like how to sell any offer, the connecting phase, how do we find the problems, how to, like, depending on where our prospect is, you know, where do we want to go? And it's not to be a robot, it's just so you know what to look for and you can actually like sell any type of avatar and any type of prospect. But if I went through this, we would be here for a week. So we're going to do this. A little bit of a cheat sheet here. First, I'm going to share kind of what my brain thinks, because I don't want to like teach you guys like what to say. I want to teach you guys how to think. That way you're not always relying on scripts, and you can be present to a conversation, because I want you guys to think how to think. Okay? So here are the things that I firmly believe is what makes you a sales professional. You guys should write this down or take a screenshot. Who asks the questions holds the frame. If you are not the one asking the questions, you are getting steamrolled on the call. You guys with me? How many of you guys have been on a call where someone, you know, maybe they're older than you, maybe they're more successful, starts asking all the questions and they don't buy? Ever happen to any of you guys? I mean, yeah, Adele, thank you. Let me know in the chat. Yeah. Because they don't see you as an authority. People buy from perceived authorities. This is especially important. There's a lot of females on today. For you younger females, making sure people see you as an authority and respect you. Otherwise, they won't buy from you. Or worse, if you're selling to older men, they'll fucking hit on you. Next, seek to understand before seeking to be understood. That is, at the essence, what makes you an effective salesperson. And how I like to remember it is people believe 10% of what you say, 90% of what they say. Have you guys heard these before? Maybe some of them. Good. Yes. From me. Yeah. And so I share this like, okay, people believe 10% of what they say, or what you say, sorry. So how can you, when you catch yourself, when you guys are reviewing some of your sales calls, when you catch yourself going through like, seeing yourself talking at someone in the next call, how can you ask a question instead? How can you take your thought and communicate it via a question instead of talking at someone? Okay. The reality is people have been on sales calls. People are getting sold every fucking day, every hour. And if we sound like everybody else, what's going to happen? We're going to build sales resistance. People are not going to want to open up to you. They want to get off the call. You're not going to make any money. Okay. Last couple things here. Vague questions get vague answers. When you're reviewing your calls, and if you are not reviewing your calls as a closer, a full-time sales professional at the end of every day, you are doing your future income a disservice. Vague questions get vague answers. Okay. So when you're reviewing a call and you're seeing like, how can I ask that more specifically next time? More focused. That will help you lead the call. And this is what builds confidence, is when you know how to ask questions, you know the responses you're going to get, you can start to now create a consistent process. And this is what builds the proof that you're good. And when you build up the proof that you're good, that's how you build confidence. You guys with me? Unfortunately, they ain't no red pill today. There's not one little one-liner that you can do that's going to build confidence in 3 seconds. It takes time. Okay, vagueness loses deals. So I'm going to go into some specific things you guys can do right away. It might be a little bit of a fire hose, but are things that you can implement to your process literally today. Can I walk you through that, guys? Told you I'm being interactive, or I'm staring at myself for an hour. All right, cool. Sweet. First of all, these are going to be your most effective tools on a sales call. These 4 questions. How do you mean? What's that mean for you? Why is that important for you? And what's underneath that? How many of you guys have been on a sales call and someone's like, let's say, what do you guys sell? Put in the chat, what do you guys sell? I didn't ask that in the beginning. Let me know in the chat what you guys sell. I'm sure a lot of you guys sell fitness, biz op, women's fitness, trading, biz op, relationship. Cool. All right. Let's take, for example, trading. How many of you guys have been on a sales call selling biz op and someone says, yeah, I want to make more money? Sky's the limit. I want financial freedom. I want time freedom. You guys ever get those? All right. What the fuck does that mean? Right? It doesn't mean squat. It doesn't mean shit. So when you're getting things like that, you're getting these buzzwords, the average closer, oh, cool, financial freedom? Yeah, makes sense. What would that do for you? I'd have more time. Great. Here's my offer. Oh, cool, I'm going to think about it. Stop for a second. What do you mean by that? How do you define that? What's that mean for you? What's underneath that? And this is how we go from talking at people to leading through question asking. Does that make sense? You guys with me? Now, a lot of this is like elementary stuff, but you'd be surprised how many people don't do it. Okay. Now, let's go into how I start a call. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. This is how I start a call. I think there is an old narrative, and actually, I got chewed out from a sales interview before I got into high ticket because this guy said I didn't build rapport long enough. He's like, rapport is 3 to 11 minutes of small talk. Fuck off. No, it's not. Rapport is about leading the call, being an authority. Okay. In the first 30 seconds to 2 minutes max, you need to know why us, why now. at the core. Okay? Why us? Why now? And what is the goal? Now, this is how I do it. What's up? Welcome to the call. Dude, how's your summer kicking off? Sweet. A little bit of emotion. I'm not a total robot. Not going to bore you. How can I help? Or, how long you been following our influencer for? Sweet. What resonated from our influencer, from our content? What's been the most helpful that made you want to book in some time today? You shouldn't be selling them. They should be selling you. That's why us. Awesome. So if someone says, yeah, I've been following this fitness influencer because she's one of the only working moms that also has, the athletic build that I want, amazing. And so in terms of you, having your own fitness journey, what is the goal for you? Now we have more like focus. Okay, you want to lose 10 pounds. Cool. And how long has that been the goal for? 2 years? Cool. So what makes now kind of a better time for you to start taking this seriously? So within 2 to 3 minutes, I know why us, why now, and I have a direction for the rest call. Now, a lot of you guys already know this, especially anyone that's working with me. But this is the difference between spending too much time trying to build fake like rapport that people just see through and leading the call with authority. Helpful so far? Might be a refresher for some of you guys. Yes? Makes sense? Cool. Cool. Let me have a sip of my coffee. All right. Now, I'm about to get wordy. I'm going to drop some more advanced stuff for a second here. And I've done my best to simplify it. Okay? Now, you're either selling a ROI offer, something where people can make money, trading, starting a business, scaling your fitness business, or you're selling a non-ROI offer, losing weight. I used to sell a lot of men's work, like helping men with their relationships. I sold like over $1.5 million of that. So these are the two things we're selling typically in this industry. Actually, they're the only things you're selling in this industry. Okay. You're in men's wear. Awesome, dude. I sold for Jordan Candlish. I sold for Dustin Garrick. I've sold for Tony Verchik and Andrew Farabee, actually, my most recent one. That was a really fun part-time offer. So this is how I will lead these calls a little bit different. And after this, I'm going to give you guys some specific things you can literally implement right away to start reducing objections. But I want you guys to like know how to think. Okay. So if you're selling an ROI offer, my personal preference is to find data. Why? Who can tell me why I'm looking for data in chat? All right, I'm not letting anyone else in. Y'all are late. Y'all can DM me. Oh, Katie with the gold star. Where'd you learn that from? Numbers don't lie, exactly. People can't hide behind data. So if you're selling like, hey, something to scale your business, cool, man. What are you doing right now to drive in new leads for your business? How long you been doing that for? How many leads are you getting a month? And how many of those are converting to sales? And on average, month over month for the last 6 months, how much top line revenue is your business bringing in? Specific questions that are going to get specific answers. Okay. You're bringing about 150K a month. Is that the level you want to be at? No, why not? We are immediately finding and associating emotion with data because we're satisfying the logical mind. Someone's answering the questions and they're being led. So then when you ask a more emotional question, they have something to anchor it to. This is where we find dissatisfaction or a gap. And where there's a gap, there's a sale. Right? Cool. Now, you're going to get people that haven't started yet. You guys that sell the Amazon FBA offers, you guys that sell trading, you're going to get people that are already doing something and are dissatisfied with the progress. And you're going to get people that haven't started yet. Now, the average rep on someone that hasn't started yet is going to start pushing a product. Oh, you haven't started yet? Dude, no worries. Our influencer, we've helped tons of people here. We're going to take care of you. That's not where the sale's made. The sale for people who haven't started yet is why haven't they started yet? How much shit is out there for people to get started? ChatGPT, GDP, whatever, YouTube. Why haven't they got started? What's prevented them from taking the first step? And what about their current situation? What about their current situation is creating a dissatisfaction that they want to change it? You want to get into trading, but you work in construction. Why not double down on that? I thought PMs can make 200 grand a year. Be okay to push away because that's what's going to extract the behavior or the dissatisfaction. Dude, I work 12 hours a day. I'm traveling all the time. Fuck that. Cool. Now you can probe on that. What do you mean? What's underneath that? Tell me more. How long you been feeling like that for? Emotion. Or, like someone said in the chat, you're going to extract a limiting belief very quickly. I don't know if it would work for me, man. Or I've tried things in the past, they haven't worked, so I'm a little skeptical. And guess what that is? The same objection you're going to get at minute 50, put on a platter for you at minute 8. You guys with me on that? Does that make sense? Cool. Now, very similar, but different. Same, but different. For the non-ROI offers. When I sold men's work, what I would do is like, walk me through what's going on, man. What's going on with your relationship? Give me some context. It's like my opening question, right? Oh, like this, we've been like arguing for a bit. Okay. What's been the biggest challenge within your relationship? I'm intentionally looking for external reasons. When I sold men's work, and this is the same thing with fitness, right? How many of you guys have sold to someone like, yeah, it's just I have kids now, I got a new job, I don't have a lot of time. You guys get those? Or was it just me? Let me know in the chat. I know a lot of you guys sell fitness. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Taylor. Guess what that is? It's an externalized excuse, externalized reason. So I would just cut through that shit. I knew I was going to get it, so I'd cut through that. Cool. An influencer put me here as a coach to kind of, hold up the mirror for you. So if you were to look into like what's directly within your control, what's directly within your ownership, what's missing from you? What's missing from you and how you're showing up? What's missing from you and how you're implementing XYZ? What's missing from you? You put the focus on them. This is where you extract and find the behavior that they need to change so they can fix their problem. And you don't pass go, because the reality is if they can't take ownership for causing or allowing the problem, they're not going to take ownership to solve it, especially when it's an $8,000 program. Make sense? If they can't think of what is directly in their control and are blaming women, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Dude, think about it. Like if you really had to think about it, right? Like you might have not caused the problem, but all due respect, brother, you're allowing it. What's missing from how you're communicating, your communication skills, from how you're avoiding or taking on conflict? What's missing around that that's perpetuating your situation? Don't break your frame. Hold that frame. Okay, we'll come back to questions in a second. So remember those for our Q&A. Okay, so helpful so far. Do you guys see how you can apply this to what you're doing right away? Cool. Sweet. All right. Got some stragglers in here. Man, I just checked. Half of you guys have your cameras off. Lame. I'm gonna call on you guys during the Q&A. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Cool. So I'm gonna give you guys 3 questions, literally verbatim, that I use no matter what I'm selling. I've sold on 7, 8 different offers at this point. 3 questions that will help you pre-handle objections. You guys want to learn those? Okay. Now, before I give these to you, it's really important that you find where in your sales process it flows. So that's going to be on you guys. That also means role play it. Whenever you guys are learning something new, role play it. Practice it with somebody. So you don't get on a live call with $1,000 commission check in the balance and trip on yourself because you didn't practice it. Especially my business owners in here. Looking at you, Ryan. Looking at Scotty Boy, right? You guys sell $5,000, $6,000 packages. You don't want to trip on yourself. $6,000 go out the window. Okay. So here are the 3 questions. Once you've identified the problem, let's say let's do BizOp, right? Okay. So it sounds like, man, like you haven't found the right lead gen strategy and XYZ. We don't tell people why they should work with us. We have them tell us. Cool. So what was it that you saw from us? What was it that you saw from an influencer that made you think, hey, maybe we can help you with that? Now, this is important for 2 reasons. One, if someone's like, you know what? I don't really remember who the influencer was. Fucking, I'm hitting the brakes. All right, this person hasn't seen enough marketing. I have to educate this person before I pitch them on a $10,000 program. Or they're going to tell me, yeah, I've been following, I've seen the testimonials, I've seen some of that stuff. I'm really like that stuff. I feel like could really apply to where I'm at. Awesome. That's your first tie down. Clear? Cool. Now we go a layer deeper. This is how we pre-handle. I will very rarely ever get, I want to try this on my own, or I want to look at other options first. You guys get those objections? Okay, Taylor doesn't, because Taylor's a G. Everyone else, I saw a lot of people nodding. Cool. So this is how I pre-handle that. Awesome, man. Sweet. And before you booked this call, before you hopped on with us, were you out there looking? And you could be direct. Were you out there like looking at other fitness coaches? Have you worked with another business coach? Just be direct with that question. And you're going to get a yes or a no. Yes. Cool. Tell me about that. Why didn't you move forward with so and so? Guess what's going to happen? Well, I didn't really like their program and it was a lot of money. Bingo. Objection, minute 15. Money objection instead of minute 50. What do you mean a lot of money? Help me understand. Obviously, there's an investment with us. What's kind of going through your head when it comes to like investing for XYZ outcome? Or they're going to tell you no. No, I haven't. You haven't? You haven't even started? How come? What's going on? Tell me about that. I've been overwhelmed, man. There's so many coaches out there, I don't know where to start. And now we can actually at least go into that and help them have more clarity. Clear? It's easy stuff. Easy stuff, right? My third question. A lot of this stuff comes from Jeremy Miner, Michael Oliver, spin selling, the OGs of sales. Third question is finding the rationale. Cool, man. So now you know that they've looked at other options. You've pre-handled some of the stuff there. So just so I understand the rationale from your perspective, what's the main reason you're potentially looking to work with like an external mentor with your business versus just like doubling down what you've been doing? These aren't that bad. Or if you get a specific type of competitor objection, just insert it right there. It's the main reason you're potentially looking to work with. This is what I used to do when I used to sell financial coaching. The main reason you're looking to work with like a financial coach, like someone like us, versus just like your local financial advisor. Well, my family has a financial advisor actually. Well, why didn't you work with them? Well, they actually only work with high net worth individuals and they don't work with blue collar people. And I want to work with someone that actually gets my industry. Bingo. So now it's very difficult for someone to be incongruent during objections. They've already told themselves that. So during objections, they're not going to be like, oh, you know what? I told myself that I couldn't figure this out, but I'm going to go figure this out anyway. It's incongruent. People don't like being incongruent. Okay. Write those things down, role play them out. If you guys start adding those to your sales calls, you will see a massive difference. Okay. You guys let me know in the chat, helpful so far? Sweet. Thank you, Katie, Liz, Mata. What's up, Colin? Good to see you, bro. Steph Sisonke. A cool name. Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Sweet. I got a lot more stuff for you. You guys down for more? Yeah, more? There's more. There's more. I'm fire hosing you guys. By the way, we'll see how much I get through with the next piece, and then we might have to cut a little short. I'm gonna go till 11:30, and I want to make sure the last 20 minutes are open for Q&A for you guys. All right. So let's get into it. Actually, let me surprise you guys. Let's get this ready. All right, cool. So next piece. How to enjoy objection handling. What a concept. How many of you guys avoid it? Be honest. How many of you guys get objections? You fucking avoid it. Thank you, Adele. Being honest. Oh yeah, no worries. We can follow up next week. Oh, you want to text me later? Yeah, here's my number. Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's learned. It's a process to get to the point where you like it. Okay, it's part of the job, but we'll get into that. Okay, let me move this. All right, let me show you guys something. This is something I've been working on for all my students. It is the objection map of every objection I've ever gotten and how to handle it in this industry to the point of like going for the close. Okay. Literally everything from I need to think about it, I've been burned in the past, money, everything you're going to get. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I don't have a week with you guys, so I've summarized it here. Okay. How's that for an open loop? Cool. Let's get into it. So, again, like the last piece, is I want you guys to learn how to think, how to think, how to think. This is why you can give two salespeople the same exact word tracks. Like all the objection handling videos you guys see online that are going viral, right? Those all come from 7th level, like from NEPQ, Jeremy Minor. And the reps, like there's a vast difference there with reps that do really well and reps that don't, because it's understanding, and I'm going to teach you guys this, how to bring in more outcome focus into your objection handling. So if you guys, a lot of you guys probably have the scripts. Money aside, would you do it? Right? Is it fair to say it's uncertainty? Like, does your partner know you're here? Like, this shit isn't new, but it's like, how do we take it from a 5 to a 10 to a 9 out of 10 so you can feel more confident, actually enjoy the process? So 3 key things here. You guys have probably heard this before. The objection you give most is the one you get most. The objection you give most is the one you get most. That's why pay everything painful. But like, I mean, part of it, like, yes, there's a narrative because, people want to sell you things. But the reality is, like, if you are someone who struggles to invest in yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to help someone make their first investment in themselves because you're not going to understand what it's like to overcome that internal fear or hesitation. Very much like if you get a lot of partner objections, like it might be, not always, but it might be that you deflect a lot of your big decisions to someone else, or you need a soundboard, or you need a confidant. So you're not trusting yourself. Okay, there's always deeper layers to it, right? Sales, in my opinion, is a mirror. Our performance and how we show up on sales calls is very, very telling to other areas of our life. Okay. Now, more of a logical, strategic thing is handle your objections logistical first, meaning handle the money objection first. Figure out if they have money. You don't want to go through 30 minutes of mindset reframes only to find out they have $200 in the bank and a 400 credit score. Like, big whoop, you help them have a reframe and now they can't do anything about it. So handle that first. Make sure it's clear. And then the most important thing, if you guys learn anything today, is bring the outcomes into the concerns. This is the most important thing in objection handling. This is how, when I sold men's work like a few months ago, selling it, I had a 2-hour It was a 2-hour sales call, but I enjoyed an hour of objection handling. Did I want to do it? No. But I'm like, I'm going to help this fucking man. Right. And that's because I was able to bring outcomes into the concerns. And we're going to go into that in a second. Okay. At least for the commandments here. Helpful, useful. Oh, karmic mirror. Yes, it is. Yes. Cool. All right. So, first of all, language to look for. When you hear something like, yeah, this all makes sense, it's just whatever comes after the just is the real objection. Yeah, this sounds good, but that is the real objection. This is why having a word track in front of you is helpful, but if you're not present and you miss that, you're missing the objection. Furthermore, non-buyer language. Hey, you were really good. Great presentation. You think that guy's buying a $20,000 program? You're a great salesman. You guys ever get that one? You're really good at sales. Jay says, like, I fucking hate that. By the way, I might curse on this presentation. You haven't picked that up yet. Oh, I'm interested. Yeah, this is non-buying language. Okay. Especially when you hear something. Now, when you hear something like, "Oh, dude, you're really good at sales," smack that shit around, dude. Put that aside. What I care about is you actually making the decisions you need to make to get the outcomes that you want. Smack that shit aside. But it's important to look for that, right? When you're getting that, that's non-buyer language. So that's telling you, don't go for the order yet. Don't ask for the close yet. Address these things first. This is, again, the difference. Like, this is where I mean vagueness loses deals. Because if you settle for this stuff, oh, he thinks I'm a good salesman. Oh, he's ready to buy. Guess what's going to happen? Nothing. Not going to make any money. So don't settle for vagueness, especially in objection handling. Okay? This is my process. I'm going to give you guys some things you can do immediately. You guys want to learn that? You guys want stuff you can implement right now? You sure? We don't have to. All right, I'm just messing with you guys. All right. There's different, like, there's some incredible sales trainers out there. I never like talking bad about any other coach or trainer. There's some great trainers out there. I've invested probably 65 grand in sales training, worked with some incredible mentors. And then I've kind of like molded it in a way that feels good for me. Because what happens sometimes is you hire a new coach and then you try copying them and then your sales get worse and you're like, why? It's like, well, you're not being you. So this is how I've done it for myself, is to confirm. I'll talk about what that means. To confirm, to clarify. I think it's really easy in objection handling when you have the word track to immediately jump on the objection. And if you don't clarify it, then you're not on the same team and people feel that. So they won't give you what you need. And then the most important thing I really hope you guys learn today is how we zoom out to the outcome, because that will cut the amount of time that you spend in objections to a lot less. So we don't have to memorize those crazy word tracks that you see. Right. And then how do we challenge people in a loving way? Right. In a way that actually helps them make a decision for themselves. So confirm. Right. Some people call it the double tie down. Some people call it like validate, whatever. Confirm, like, whatever objection you get, someone says, oh yeah, it sounds good, you're a great salesperson, I just gotta think about it. Confirm that they actually believe that the solution you presented will work for them. Cool. No stress, man, if you need 2 weeks to decide if you want to join a $2,000 program. Just kidding. But do you actually believe that everything I laid out here, the way we have our coaching set up, the strategy that we've talked about, do you believe this will actually help you with XYZ? This is how we get on the same side of the table. Now, don't just end there. Double down on it. Cool. Why? This question, by the way, why, will make you a lot of money. Every single time you're trying to instill a new belief, a new perspective, follow up with a why. Do you feel like this will work for you? Okay, really, why? Why is that? How come? The reason is people will, again, telling themselves or selling themselves. Now, what's really important, if they are not convinced, and we have the luxury of being on Zoom and see you, if you can tell in their body language or in the way they're looking at you, whatever it is, that they are not convinced, do not pass go. You missed something. You either botched your pitch or there's some hesitation coming up and we need to address it and call it out. Like if you're like, do you feel like this will work for you? And they're like, yeah, yeah, I think so. You think that's like a $10,000 buyer? I think so. No. All right, hold on, cowboy. That was like the most uncertain response I've ever heard. Based on everything, like what's kind of come up for you? Based on everything I shared, like any reason why this wouldn't work for you? What's going to happen? Well, this reminds me of X program that completely hustled me. Bingo, objection. Fear, burn in the past, uncertainty. Or they're going to tell you, you know what? Actually, now I think about it, everything does make sense. I just had a couple questions on these things. Cool. And then you can answer the questions because it's very difficult to sell someone, especially high ticket, on something that they don't think is going to work for them. We're not selling $80, perfumes, which I got sold on at the mall the other day. She was a great salesperson. It's $120. Cool. Makes sense? Makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. Cool. All right. Couple more things here. Clarify. You understand that the solution will work, clarify. And like use a little empathy. Like don't be a dick. Dude, what's come up for you? Help me understand. Someone tells you, yeah, I mean, this reminds me of a program I did where, they sold a bunch of us and gave us all a generic like nutrition plan, right? What people will do is like, oh, well, are you married? Well, like, did you get your heart broken before you got married? And you didn't let that stop you. So you're ready to buy? Like, fuck off. But if you like take your time, be patient. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Do you mind if I ask, like, what happened? What were the expectations like? Help me understand what happened there. I mean, just to make sure if what we have here will be the right thing for you. I don't know. When you're a little bit more patient like that, people will open up. And then you can understand what the real issue was. Was it a shit program that they bought? Or did they just not do it? And now you have the real objection and what you can actually reframe and challenge. Okay. Someone's in the waiting room. They late. Cool. They can get the tail end of this. Tohar. What's up, Tohar? You late to class. Hope you got a doctor's
Oh my
note.
gosh, I know. Sorry.
Did you come off a sales call?
A sales call. No, I
Okay,
was just
never
busy
mind.
with my daughter. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries. I'll put you on mute. If you got a piffy, then we'll let it slide. But all right, cool. So you're joining right during the during the best part. So buckle up. All right. Now this is where I think a lot of reps get really stuck on the word tracks and the scripts. And let me ask you guys, sometimes like when you're objection handling, do you feel like you're just kind of battling to get someone to buy the program? Yeah. Let me know in the chat. Right. And the reason why is like, okay, money aside, would you do this? Would you do this program? Yeah, I just need to check my finances. Yeah, but if the finances checked out, would you buy this program? This is why I think back to like my friend that called me. Like I didn't buy a program. I bought a commitment to fucking change. That's what I bought. There's a kid yelling outside. I'm sorry, it's distracting. And so this is what is important for you guys to extract from the discovery. This is what I mean, bring the outcome. And you can even interrupt and hold on, man. I know you said it's a lot of money, but just so we're on the same team here, the last 40 minutes have been about you learning how to actually be able to make $20,000 a month from your business so you can walk away from your corporate job and you can actually be home with your kids on the weekends. Are we still talking about the same thing here? Is that still what you're working towards? Is that still your priority? Okay, so can you help me understand what you mean by it's a lot of money? That's what happens when you bring the outcome. What's like now like you're putting the objection back on someone and now they need to explain it, but because you've shown that you've listened and that you've cared and you care about their outcome, they're like, oh fuck. I mean, when you put it like that, yeah. Now we can handle the objection much more powerfully. So think about what that is, and that's why I'm a firm believer the sale is made in the discovery. It's saved in the objections. So if you can figure out what those problems are, find what's underneath the emotional attachment, build up a big vision, and find the deep problems, you're gonna be able to bring that into your objection handling. When I used to sell financial coaching, right, I used to get, yeah, man, I mean, money aside, like, would you do this? Like, do you feel like this is gonna help you get more organized? Dude, I don't give a fuck about being more organized. Cool, man. Do you see that this can actually help you start putting money away for your future so that when you're 65 years old, that your family knows that you're taken care of and that you don't have to like hope and wish that nothing bad happens to you so you don't go to your community and live off of GoFundMe's? Do you feel like this is going to help you set up your future? Yes, I do. So help me understand, man, if that's what you're working towards, if this is about you and your family's security, help me understand like what you feel like you need to think about just to see if I can help. You see how much more powerful that is? Am I losing you guys? Cool. All right. So, last thing, that will cut through a lot of the noise. That will cut through a lot of the noise. So when you guys are struggling to think of the perfect analogy or the perfect reframe, this will cut through a lot of the noise. And the last is to challenge. Okay. So when you feel like you're on the same team, when you challenge, I always ask for permission first. Like someone literally just said what in that example, right? Yeah, man, it's just X, Y, Z. Okay. Are you open to a different perspective? Can I share something with you? Can I be direct with you? Can I say something without you getting upset with me? Do I have permission to challenge you? Is it okay if I actually put my coaching hat on and like help you look at what you're looking at in a different angle? These different ways of asking for permission will allow someone to be open to you challenging them. And then you can challenge that way of thinking. That way of thinking, man, of needing to take multiple days before you make a decision about what's right for you and your family's future security. Do you feel like maybe that's the same pattern that's been going on for the last 20 years and maybe why you're 42 years old with no retirement account? So how would it be fair for me to let you sell out on yourself? Can I actually help you get started? That's how we challenge and we reframe in a way that feels good for our prospects. And this is why I will get texts from people I sold a year ago texting me, yo, thank you for selling me that program. I bought my house. I had this one woman, she texted me a few months ago. Her goal was within 1 year, move from the Midwest to California, Long Beach, start her own tattoo studio. And she did it. And she texted me. She's like, hey, I still remember that conversation. Thank you for helping me get started on this journey. And when you can build up that is ultimately what brings confidence because you know that you have a process that works, that you're going to help people get what they want. Okay. So the last thing was how to think like an owner. I'll do another session on that. I want to do some Q&A. Okay. So far, guys, like, have you guys learned something that you can implement today? Sweet. Let me know in the chat. Awesome. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Cool. So we're going to go into Q&A in a second. Before we do, let me know in the chat what's been the biggest takeaway so far. And we'll do Q&A. Sales are made in discovery. Sales are saved in objections. Someone was taking notes. Good stuff. Ask for permission challenge. Zoom out to the outcome. Don't fucking settle for bigness. Don't do it. All right. So before we go into Q&A, can I share an opportunity? Let me know in the chat. I need permission or I'm not going to share it. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Oops. Cool. So as you guys know, there's some of my students here who have been incredible to work with. I've opened up 8 spots for my mentorship. This is not a giant 50-person group call. I do one-on-ones with every single one of my students. And you have access to work with me and some other top producers in the industry. We all still sell. So if you'd like, if you want to talk about it, see if it's the right thing for you, it might not be. I will put my calendar here in the chat. You guys can book a call. I opens up slots up for later today, tomorrow, to see if what I have going on would be the right thing for you. Okay. So if you guys want to take some time to book in some time, again, let's see if it's the right thing. If it is, cool. If it's not, I'll let you know. I'll point you in the right direction. I'll just let you know you're not ready. Now, who it's for, to be clear, if you're already on an offer and you're already closing, if you're setting, just DM me. I'll give you some resources. This is for people that are already closing and want some hands-on mentorship, or you're selling your own offer. If you're a business owner, I will turn you into a fucking machine. Just ask any of the business owners in here. You're willing to work and you're willing to get uncomfortable. Ask any of my students. I will push your fucking buttons because I care about you. But that's the only way that you're going to get better. And this is for people that take ownership and just like are not a victim to their situation. You're not going to make it in sales if you are. So who it's not for, if you're not already on an offer, I just don't do placement. Sorry. Like, feel free to DM me if you're not on an offer. I'll see if I can help you out. You're not already closing. I want, like, what I teach my students, I want them to be able to implement like immediately. So if you're still setting or something like that, it's not for you yet. And don't be the person that gives the same objections you get. Cool. So we'll go into Q&A. I'll drop my calendar link one more time. Before we do that, normally at this part of the webinar, people have a bunch of testimonials and screenshots. I didn't put that together. What I would like to do before we go into Q&A, some of my students are here. I didn't prep them for it, so maybe I'm putting them on the spot. But if anyone wants to come off of mute, Katie, Adele, Sarah, Ryan, Scott, any of you guys, if you guys just want to drop 30 seconds of your experience working with me, what people should know, and then we'll go into the Q&A and answer some questions.
Yeah, I'm happy to share. Like, I can kick things right on. So, yeah, I'm not even particularly one of Andre's students, but I've done just a couple sessions with him. And everything that he teaches, from the discovery questions to where that's the sale is made and the sale is saved in the objections, it has just blown my mind how much it has worked. We went from doing, I think, about 5 to 7K months. We did 125,000 in a week in May.
Let's go.
So yeah, it's absolutely incredible. So hats off to you, man. You're the real deal. And just genuinely, thank you so much. It's been amazing.
Awesome, man. Big waves.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Love it, man. Sweet. Thank you. Any other quick shares? Ryan, you want to just... Oh, Adele. Let's go with Adele.
Yeah, honestly, same situation for me. I came in with like 1,000,001 questions, had invested like a lot of time and money into other training. And like the time period between working with him and knowing how to do the sales call, it was like day and night. I started being able to growth operate for the offer I was on. and this month we're on pace to double his biggest month. And this is like my first month operating with Andreas. So
Yeah.
he'll get it done.
Let's go. Thank you. All right, Ryan, finish it up, and then we'll do Q&A for everybody.
All right, I'll keep it quick. But me and Andres know each other really well. He worked for my offer. I financial coaching for tattoo artists, and he did first of all $750,000 in sales in the first year of a new offer. Blew my fucking mind. He has trained me to sell, and I am terrible at sales. I have a background in tattooing. I'm an artist, and I myself have done over $1 million in sales just from everything he's taught me. He then trained our new closer from scratch. Not ever having sales experience, was closing paid in fulls within 1 month. I think Andres is the most undervalued coach on the market. Like, if you want an opportunity, get him now before he's $12, $15, $20,000 to work with. I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on programs. I have never put a dollar into something that I saw a higher return from than putting dollars into investing and working with Andres. I'm being dead ass. Yeah, he cares. I've spent money on programs that they are really good and they have like the great background and all, but they don't care. This dude cares in a way like you're gonna get everything and more than you came for. There's no only going one way. So that's what I have to say about Andres. I love you,
man. Love you, brother. Thank you, man. That was awesome. Sweet. Well, appreciate it, guys. 8 spots open. 2 of them were taken. Shout out to Kelly. Shout out to Mo, who's not here. So have 6 spots open because, like I said, I still do one-on-one with everyone. So thank you guys for sharing. Let's do some Q&A. What do you guys got for me? Let's see. If you guys want to like raise your little digital hand, we can do it that way. Get you guys off mute. All right. Let's start with Kendall.
Hey,
What's up, Kendall?
Andres.
How you
Good
doing?
to see you, man.
Yeah, you too.
This was awesome. Yeah, this was really helpful. And my biggest challenge is when we're in objection handling and it's the moment to challenge and to like not give up, right? And there were some amazing little, like, other than bringing the outcome into the reframe, you also had some other little nuggets of like talk tracks that I've kind of heard you say before, like something about like leaving things on the table, like these little like expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just have any suggestions for like, do you have a list of those somewhere? Or, I mean, it's like, it's ultimately, yeah, I guess what I'm looking for is either those expressions that you feel like are winners, or like really how you just keep going in those moments of like you've reframed 3 or 4 times and it's like about to give up, but how like how you push through.
Yeah. What do you sell?
Fitness and BizOp, actually. I'm on 2 offers.
You're on 2 offers.
But fitness, for example, yeah.
So thinking about like when you think about what people want, like what is their outcome? Like it's all okay. So like what do they want, and then what are they also running away from, or what is the problem that it's solving? And the more you work with like a certain avatar, like the more you'll kind of see patterns in that. And that's what's like helped me like create certain talk tracks for BizOp versus non-ROI offers. Right. So with some people, like depending on your call, they might be more motivated by the things that they want to achieve. It's okay. Do you feel like this can actually help you get there? Or it might be more by like the things they want to solve. Like, do you feel like this will actually like teach you how to start putting money away for your future so you're not scattered and feeling stressed out with XYZ? So I would say like thinking about it that way, things that they want and the things that they don't, and you can usually extract those in consequence question asking, and like bring those to your objection handling. And then through repetition, like the more you do it, the more you're going to learn like, okay, that line worked, that line didn't. Is that helpful?
Yeah, ish. And I still feel like I'm kind of doing that and it's still not working, to be honest. But it's good to know what I need to do.
So I would say too is like what is like the objection you get? What is the fear objection?
Most of the time I get money value. On the fitness offer, most of the time I get money value, and then even though I've literally gotten them to admit 80 times that they can't do it on their own, they're like, well, don't have the money, guess I gotta do it on my own.
Interesting. Okay. I think they're like it's thinking about I was doing this with a student the other day, like it's like a worthiness conversation. Like if they feel like this is something that's gonna help them, like help them realize like is this just like you not feeling like you're worth investing this amount to get these outcomes? And if that's the case, like where does that come from? Like why are you willing to like sell out on yourself if you have the money and you know that this can help you?
That's good.
Hope that's helpful.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
good. Like, yeah, even I love that expression, sell out on yourself. Like that, these ones that just kind of cut.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Good question. Taylor, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, bro? Um, so yeah, the offer I'm on, it's a great offer, but the marketing, maybe it's a marketing problem, to be honest, but the clients are so ice cold, and when they don't even think about doing this opportunity until the moment they see our ad, they book a call for like the next day. So by the time they reach my calendar, this is such a new thing. They haven't actually had time to even process it, and they want to come onto the call to extract information. That's kind of the vibe I get from most of the people that come on there.
Okay.
And so I feel like it's extremely hard to sell to somebody that's only there for information.
So what are you two-stepping or are you just trying to one call close?
Kind of one call close.
So this is kind of I mean we didn't go into it today, but like I'll do another event around it, like thinking like an owner, because a lot of business owners think that they're ready for a closer, but they're not. Right? They don't have a fleshed out sales system, and they can close because they're the influencer and they have the influencer clout, but it won't work for a salesperson that someone has no rapport with. And so it's going to be up to you to like figure out a process that's going to work. So I have one offer where I placed a rep. He just hit his second 20K month there, but his first month was like figuring out what was going to work. They were driving a lot of ads or leads through ads. They're getting on the call, and they had no idea it was job placement. They had no idea anything about the role. So what we created was the first 2 hours of the day, we just had a bunch of 15-minute call slots where we would have triage calls where it was really educational. So the closer would do essentially educate them, hey, how much do you know? Blah blah blah. Essentially qualify them and then book them on a longer sales call. So sometimes you'll have the flexibility to have your owner change that for you. Now, if you don't, you can still do it yourself by taking your first 20, 30 minutes of the call, gauging where they're at, setting a second call, and then you should have a library of assets, homework, like freebies that you send them in between the first and the second call. So they're more along in their buying journey, right? Because people do need to consume resources before they buy. They do need to consume, typically 7 to 11 touch points before they're ready for a sales conversation. Some people argue that 7 hours. I don't know, but if the funnel isn't doing it, then it's your income that's suffering. So you need to figure out how to do it for you. Is that helpful?
It is. I'll have to speak with the owner because one of the closers is doing well. Like, he's averaging one close a day.
Yeah. So I would look
So
at like what he's doing too, right? It's like, is he educating? Does he know more about the product? Product knowledge does close deals. Maybe he's like, because that's what eventually with his name is Gianni now. Like now he's doing way more one call closing because now he educates in the first 15 minutes of the call. He also sends resources beforehand because he's closed so many deals and he understands the offer very well now. And so then he's able to then go into the sales process. But I would also look at what the other closer's doing and see if it's a skill issue or something else.
yeah, that helps.
Cool. Good question, man. Saira.
Hi, Andres. Thank you for doing this. I have a
Yeah.
quick question, I think.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about objection handling and you said
Yeah.
to handle the money first to see if they have the money, how do
Yeah.
you go about it without jumping into PIF? I mean, payment plan, sorry.
Okay, yeah, without, as my mentor once told me, don't blow your load on a payment plan when you don't need to. Well, you don't offer it, right? So first, it's like you confirm. Awesome. Money aside for a second, like everything I laid out here, do you feel this can get you to outcome? Okay, well, why do you feel that way? Okay, and then when it comes to like, the investment, is it a matter of like you just don't have it, or you got to move things around? You're gonna get a
Okay.
couple of things there, right? No, I have it. It's just blank. Now you know they have money. It's just hesitation. Or they're gonna tell you, I mean, I'd have to move things around. Like this would be really tight. And then you can further like clarify even more. Well, okay, like, do you mind if I ask? Like, do you mind if we like have an open conversation about your situation, see if we can help? And then you
Right.
can do like an open wallet test, like, what do you have available? Do you have credit options or things like that? And if they don't, then you can propose your payment plan. Cool. Well, that's not an option. Are we on the same team though that this is what's going to help you get to where you want to go? Okay, cool. Well, we have options that we can break it down, make it more digestible for you. It would be helpful to go through that so you can actually get started today. And then you would, worst case, go into your payment plan.
That was good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. What's up, Joe?
What's up?
How we doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, man. How can I help?
So I guess a similar question like Tyler had. So I'm starting on an offer. It's like I'm gonna be first closer. They have leads, but it's only the owner been closing. And it's a special offer because it's in fitness, but it's more about like helping older fighters to improve longevity. And he has like a special methodology how he does that. Like it's unique. And I was watching his sales call, and he doesn't ask too many questions. He's just like, "What's your goal? What's your goal?" Just let them rumble for understanding what their situation is, and then he presents the methodology, and then he closes. And I know, like for me, it's gonna be a little bit different because I'm not a owner. I don't have, all the understanding. I'm not like studied in sports science and all that. So I'm curious, where would you, focus to actually make sure that I figure it out, that I'm not just wasting my time and wasting all the, leads.
What's the question exactly?
The question is, if there is a very unique methodology or a unique mechanism that people haven't tried, but it's a fitness offer, do I still ask like all the questions? Like, do I go through like same processes like discovery? The only pain they had is that they haven't figured out how to actually, improve their joints and try the methodology. Do I go through, future consequence and all of that, or I guess I'm trying to figure out what to exactly.
Yeah. So one, you can maybe identify behavior, like what's prevented them from, looking at multiple options, trying different things. Like, are they trying and stopping, or do they not follow through on something long enough to see results? That's potentially one option. Another thing too, though, you have to remember if this is like a newer product on a newer funnel, newer marketing, sometimes you just need to do a little bit more education. So in your discovery, you can be asking like, how much do you know about XYZ type of things? I know nothing.
Right.
Okay,
So they
well,
get like an ebook beforehand, so they have some idea what's going on.
that's assuming that they read it all in detail.
It's a short ebook. There is not much to read.
So what I would be doing is like, awesome, did you go through that ebook? The first thing in your call, right? How was it helpful? Like, how much do you feel like you understand about it? And I would see if you need to do some education in the beginning of the call. And then you can see it like, then okay, does that all make sense? Do you feel like having this approach would help you? So then help me understand what was that really brought you here today to potentially explore this now.
Yeah, that for sure. When you went through it, that's for sure something I'm gonna have to do. The question I have follow up is like, would you still go into like the past and maybe like try to figure out like limiting things or why they haven't got what they did? Because I see the solution is being like this is very unique, and if they do this and follow it, they're gonna have better results than what they did in the past.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone like you want to be flexible in your discovery. Like not everyone like is I don't want to say has limit doesn't have limiting beliefs, but some people are aware that they just need more help, right? It's like, yeah, I've tried all these things.
Yeah,
I'm looking for a solution. I just haven't found the right one. And like there's no point in like finding a behavior or a limiting belief there if they're here like I'm here shopping because I want to solve this,
right.
right? But what I would still do is solution-based questions, like just to give you clarity, just so I have clarity, just based on the things that you have tried, and make sure what we have here will work for you. What were some of the things that you've been looking at? Why do you think those things didn't work for you?
Mm.
Right? Did you follow the regime to the T, or do you feel like you've kind of fallen off? I want to make sure that what we have here and how it's structured will be the best thing for you.
Mm. Okay, so still go into problem solution awareness and
I
all
would
that.
still do it, yeah. Just more focused on just from like the doctor frame, right? Like put on the frame of like the doctor to figure out what it is that they've been doing.
Yeah, yeah. And what about, just last question, what about the like emotional parts, like the future pays and consequence, like cost of inaction? Would you?
So with I would still do like future pace, like cool, and then like you fixing your gut, like how do you see that impacting different areas, or how do you see that changing things for you?
Yeah,
Usually, like it's going to solve a pain, right? Or there's a pain or something like that, and do you see yourself being able to then what can you get back into, or I would still future pace. Consequence questions or cost of inactions question sets. I do them usually on more like insecure buyers. Consequence
hmm,
questions work really well. When you have someone that's like, if this is a higher ticket wellness product and you're talking to people that are very well established, consequence
yeah.
questions aren't really going to hit. So I would replace that with another why now.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense because some of the guys that come in have been like training, they're like black belt, 50-degree jiu-jitsu, and they're really just doing their best, but they haven't figured out what to
Right.
do.
So they're doing their best. So it's not about like, well, what happens if you don't do this? It's like, dude, I'm
Yeah,
already a top athlete. It's oh cool, man. So I get everything. I think what we have will work for you. What's really the rationale behind like now versus later?
gotcha.
Yeah.
Good. It's awesome. Thanks.
Good stuff, man. Cool. Any other questions for you guys? Speak now. Closed mouths don't get fed. All right. Let's get you on. Yeah, Taylor, go for it.
What's your opinion on framing payment plans as an on-call special?
I personally don't like doing like the on-call action taker discount bullshit. Personally, I feel like it's kind of like selling on easy mode. And also, like, if you talk to someone, like, if someone did that to me, I would fuck with them. Like, I bought like a 10K coaching program recently, and like, if someone like, I just put myself in the buyer's shoes. If someone did that to me, I'd be like, really, dude? Like, if I came back tomorrow and wanted to give you like $8,000, you'd say like the discount's off the table later, Ryan. So I personally don't like that. And like, you're just gonna risk getting higher refunds because people are buying for the wrong reasons. But it
Makes
works.
sense.
Some people, some closers, it works for them. They can make a lot of money doing, you get guaranteed this and early action taker discount. It's normally 30 grand. If you buy now, it's 8,000. It still works. I don't like to do it personally.
All right. Thanks.
What do I do instead? Well, I'll still pitch a payment plan, but it's more about like kind of what I shared earlier. Like, okay, well, do you feel like do you want to do this? Do you want to solve XYZ? Okay. So it's just fair to say that it's just like a matter of resources. All right, you open to getting resourceful so we can help you with this because I'm on your team here. Sweet. So what we could do is we could just break this down into more digestible pieces. That way you're able to get started, and that way that your cash flow or your budgetary constraints don't completely stress you out, but at least it puts you into a little bit of urgency because it's really what it's going to take for you to see results here. Can I help you get started with that? Or would that help you get started today? So that's how I break down like the payment plan. And that's what I mean. Like sometimes like just handle logistical concerns first. Because like you might save 30 minutes of mindset reframes by just offering a payment plan that someone didn't know about. All right. What other questions? What's the difference between that and maybe offering bonus for action taking? Setting's a little different. Setting requires urgency and scarcity. Setting and marketing is different. All right, guys, I got another 5 minutes. Any other questions? For anyone, if you guys lost my link, there's a few more spots open. I'll drop it in there for you. I promise I won't bite if you guys want to chat. And if I can't help you, if you're not ready yet, I will point you in the right direction. I know there's a lot of people that aren't in closing yet. I can't refer you, like I don't refer people unless I know they're good, but I at least point you in the right direction of different recruiters and different like places that you can find roles. So yeah, Joe, hit me, bro.
Just a fancy question.
Yeah.
If you were to start over completely knowing what you know now, knowing that you're gonna have to like develop skills and mindset, what would you do to make sure you like next 3 months making as much money as you want and providing for your family?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I got lucky, man. I got lucky. I started as a setter, and that starting as a setter built an incredible foundation for me. A lot of people say like they would start as door to door. I don't think I would do door to door. I think what I would have done earlier, this isn't like a shameless plug, is I would have worked with a trainer a lot sooner. I didn't hire my first coach till almost a year and a half in. It's because like I was making 8 to 12 grand a month, which you saw my bank account coming from that was very, very life changing for me. And so I thought I was good, but I was also on an offer that like I worked really well with the avatar. And when I hopped on a new offer, like what was working on that avatar, I was getting smoked. And I realized like I could have probably been making more money if I really had a process for everything. And so I would say hiring a trainer sooner. And another thing is like there's great trainers out there. Just finding one in your first year or two and just stick to one methodology, understand it, learn it, make it your own. Because sometimes what happens is like there's so much input and you just confuse yourself. Those are the two things. And then the third thing I would say is like um, just be around other closers making more money than you because you're going like role playing with them, training with them, even if you're not paying for a coach, like being in that for me, like it, I think once I invested in my first coach, I was around other closers making 25 grand a month and they were not any smarter than me. And that's what was like that internal, like, oh shit, I can be making double the money without working any harder just by having a better skill set. And so that was like the big turning point for me. So those are the three things I would have done from the jump, knowing that I know now. So great question, dude.
So what did you do to improve that? What would you do to improve that skill set as fast as possible?
Yeah, I mean, like working with the trainer around your discovery. Your discovery is the most important. And what I didn't do initially, I didn't really review my calls because I didn't know. I was just working for some random offer that I found. Um, Once I started working in training programs, my coaches would be like, you need to review a call every day, which is why I tell my students. So that's probably the most important thing you can do. The end of every day, you do your admin, do your fucking numbers, do your tasks, track your objections. What objections are you getting? So that can help you have data to what to improve on. And then review one call a day. You will get better so much faster.
Awesome. Thanks. Last question, would there be any recording available afterwards?
Yeah, if my email system doesn't break, I'll get the recording out this weekend. All right.
Awesome.
Good stuff, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Go make some money. Stay in touch too. Later.